Hey, what's going on, guys? In this lesson, I'm going to be showing you the ultimate shifting exercise using a scale that you might know. Coming up. All right, guys, so if you're new to DaricBennett.com or to this channel, we've talked about the 2-octave major scale before, but I want to take it a step further. I'm going to go over that briefly. If you missed it, I'll put a link to it, or you can go ahead and watch it. The 2-octave major scale is a great exercise, as well as a scale to practice and to learn and to add to your exercise routine, especially if you want to learn how to shift and to cover more ground around the fretboard. But anyway, let's jump right into it. So first and foremost, we do the I think I did it in A before, but you can do it in any key. But I most likely like to play this scale starting on the E string. So any note on the E string I like to play. This actually works pretty well on the E string. So from E to F, you know, so forth. So anywhere on that E string, it works very well because we're going to be using 4 strings throughout this 2-octave exercise. I know with a 5 string, you can do a 2-octave exercise really without shifting too much at all. But we're going to be doing it on a 4 string. I'm going to show you how to get around that and maneuver quickly and effectively, so it doesn't sound like you're shifting at all when you're playing the scale. So I'm going to let's just pick a key. It doesn't matter. Let's do G. All right, going to do G majors. Let's do the G major scale. This also works for the minor scale too, which we'll be going over soon. But anyway, let's jump right into it. So G major scale. All right, look familiar? Right. So if I were to keep going, just the 2-octave major scale is just if you're continuing the scale. All right. It's a continuous scale up to the 2nd octave. All right. So that's 1 octave. And then the next octave will be to the high G. So that's the low G, octave of that, high G, and the octave of that would be the higher G. So that's the 2-octave scale. You got to get from here to here. So what's the most fluent way to play this? I know I've seen people do different fingerings, and no way is the wrong way. I'm just showing you the way that I do it. That works for me. That's more comfortable for me. But anyway, so let's jump right into it. So like I said, that looks familiar. We have the G major scale. So we're going to continue the G major scale. So the way that we're going to do that, we're going to shift it a completely different way. We're going to start with first position. We're going to start with our first finger for that first note. Usually in a major scale, you start with your 2nd finger. All right, if you're playing a regular 1-octave major scale. But for this case, we're going to start on our first finger. All right, so we're going to do whole step. All right, so we're going to do 1st, 3rd, 4th finger. So you got G, A, B. All right, now we're going to shift. This is where the shifting comes in. So G, A, B, shift with your 4th finger to the C. All right, so that line, shift with that 4th finger. All right, so that's how we're covering more ground already. So we already got from the 3rd fret to the 8th fret. So next string down is actually pretty simple from here. So next string down is going to be the same exact fingering and the same exact spacing. So if we continue the scale, so that's the 1 octave right there, and we've already gotten to the 10th fret, I think. So we have 1, 3, 4, shift, half step. Next string down, we start on D, D, E, F sharp, G, shift with the 4th finger. Same exact fingering. All right, simple, right? All right, next string down is going to be a little bit different. So notice that we move from the 1st string, we move the 5th from that. All right, so 5th from there, just to get you used to the shape and to get to that note quicker, so you're not shifting and moving all around. Also, if you pay attention or if you look closely, after you're done with the first line, you end on the 4th finger, right? So if your fingers are aligned with the frets, 3rd finger hits the 7th fret, 2nd finger hits the 6th fret, 1st finger hits the 5th fret. Lands right there. The next note lands right where your 1st finger is actually supposed to be. All right, next string down, you're doing a 5th again. All right, so from here to here, from the G, the D, into the A. So think about it as the notes that you're starting on with that string. Did you see that? So your 1st finger is playing the G on every string. Not the G on every string, but the G on the E string, D on the A string, A on the D string. All right. So just a little quick tip, right? So with this one, we have to think about the makeup of the formula of a major scale. So we have to think whole half, right? We have to think about that. The whole tone or the semitone or the whole step. Yeah, either way. So we're on the 3rd line now. So we're starting on A, B, So according to the G major scale, right, the next note will be C. So instead of having a whole, we have a whole half. All right. So we have first finger, third finger, fourth finger. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to shift again, but this time we're not going to shift a half step. We're going to shift a whole step. Okay. So that third line, that's what we're going to play there. All right, so we only have 3 more notes to go. So take a look at where we are. So we're already on the D string on the 12th fret from the 3rd fret on the E string. So we covered a lot of ground already just with those shifting methods. And the more you do it, the more comfortable it'll be, and the more fluent you can make this, so it doesn't sound like you're shifting. You know, in the beginning, now I suggest in the beginning that you lift up and don't slur, don't tie that that shift together. This is what I mean. So you're doing 1, 3, 4, shift with the 4th finger, a half step. So make sure you don't slide that. Make sure you're still plucking that. I would suggest to do it both ways, but in the beginning, pluck every single note, right? So it doesn't sound like you're shifting. See what I mean? So the last 3 notes we have E, F sharp, G on the G string. All right, so 1, 3, 4, and then we're done. All right, that's the whole entire scale, the major 2-octave major scale. 2-octave major scale. Now, the tougher part is descending this scale. It's going to be a little bit different. The finger is going to be a little bit different. If you notice, in the beginning, we were shifting with the 4th finger. Now, descending, we're going to be shifting with the 1st finger. All right, just makes sense. We're going to be descending with the 1st, ascending with the 4th. All right, so this is what I mean. It's going to be a little bit different too. It's not going to be exactly the same just because of what you have to shift with. All right, so we're going to walk the scale down. This is just the way I do it now. Just remember that. There's not no right or wrong way. This is the way that's easiest for me. So we're going to walk it back down. Almost as if you're playing the scale normally, just like a 1-octave scale on the 10th fret, right? Just like we're going to be doing that. We're going to be doing the first 2 lines. When we get to that 3rd note, or this 3rd scale degree, right, which is our B, that's where we're going to shift whole step. Okay. There's the shift right there. So the shift with the 1st finger, it happens at the B to the A. All right. All right. Now, the 3rd line. Our 4th finger lands right where our finger is supposed to go. So instead of playing the 2nd note of the 2nd scale degree of the major scale, which will be A, of the G major scale, we're playing it down here. We're shifting it down. So now we're at G. Our 4th finger hits the G on the A string on the 10th fret. So again, all right, now we're going to keep walking it down. 3rd finger, 1st finger, guess what we're going to do? Shift. All right, so every time we get to the 1st finger from now on, we're going to be shifting with the 1st finger, right? So let's start over again. Shift, F sharp, E, shift, D, finger, the 4th finger, I mean, it's the perfect fingering because your finger lands right where it's supposed to be. The 4th finger lands on the C, 3rd finger B, 1st finger A. Guess what we're going to do? Shift with the 1st finger. All right, so you're shifting, like I said, let me reiterate that. We're shifting with the 1st finger on the way down, shifting with the 4th finger on the way up. So let me do it all together. This is going up. This is ascending, shift, shift, shift. Right? Now on the way back down, shift, shift, shift. There we go. All right, so you can get a little bit of quickness with it. the more you practice it, the easier it'll be to kind of slide between those notes. And like I said before, make sure you're plucking those notes at first. Make sure you're plucking every single note and make sure you're not sliding up. But you should be able to practice that way as well, because it has a little bit of a, it has a cooler sound to it. You can really hear when I'm shifting, but that's what kind of makes it sound a little bit different. But make sure you're practicing it separately too, as every single note as one. All right. So the more you do it, the easier it'll get. So that's a good shifting exercise. Just the 2-octave major scale itself. If you're looking for a shifting exercise, I mean, the ultimate exercise is the 2-octave major scale. And it would be the same thing for a minor scale, but we'll do that in another lesson just for time's sake. I know I'm kind of going over now from, it really wasn't supposed to be this long. But anyway, it's just a cool exercise. If you're a beginner, doesn't matter. But I didn't even learn this scale / exercise until several years into my playing. And I thought back then I knew a thing or two, but I thought, I was a teenager. You thought you knew everything. But anyway, I thought I was intermediate, I guess. But I didn't learn this scale, and learning this scale and shifting, learning how to shift like that kind of opened my eyes a little bit more to what I can do and how I can get from here to there on the fretboard, or from this low register to this higher register on the fretboard. It just opened my eyes to a lot more ideas. But anyway, like I said, make sure your notes are coming out clean, clear, and precise. There's actually a part 2 to this. There's another shifting exercise, so stay tuned to that. And if you're new to this channel and haven't subscribed yet, I'll put a subscription button, make it easy for you to go ahead and click that to subscribe. And also a link over here to the website, DaricBennett.com, where there's tons more like this. You can have access to me, more access to me. It's a risk-free 3-day trial, so go ahead and try it out, see how you like it. But anyway, make sure your notes are coming out clean, clear, and precise. And until next time, I'll see you.